Gentlemen, so my dear student, we are going to start our today's lecture. We are going to talk about chapter number 7 about project planning. Let me say Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi to each one of you. So today we are going to talk about chapter number 7. It's about project planning. Project planning. In this chapter, we will discuss a little bit, try to explain about the first about the project and project planning, about the work breakdown structure, cost control, and other related planning things, related to the planning, because planning is a very vast subject. So we will cover, inshallah, the things that are related to all those things that are related to project planning. So we are going to start with the life cycle of the project. So most of you are familiar with this. Like we start with the proposal request, like definition of the project, or so then we do the feasibility study, and if the feasibility study is economically feasible and project is will go ahead. Otherwise, the project can be abandoned if it's economically or other feasibility study, political or financial, or maybe cultural feasibility or environmental feasibility. They are not acceptable, so project may be abandoned. So if we go ahead with the project, then we do the planning for the project and prepare the design for the project. Once design is complete, so in a traditional way, then we do the bidding. So bidding could be competitive bidding or negotiated, contracts. So then once we select contractors, it means we have the designer, we have the owner is there, and the owner has selected the designer, and then the owner has selected the consultant, and owner by bidding they have selected the contractor. So now the contractor will construct the project. And once the project will complete, so then at the end it will be handed over, or project will be taken over. So this is up to this point we call usually, generally the project is comprised of these things. After that, the project will be like it will be operational stage and maintenance stage. Will the facility will be maintained by the owner who is using, or the user who is using the projects, who is the client or employer or owner of the project. So that facility will be maintained and keep in operational. And if there is some leakage in the washroom or any pipe, or so it should be maintained properly. Then sometimes some projects, we do upgradation of the project. So like in dams, so they change the turbines and with high capacity, so they upgrade. Or sometimes we do the rehabilitation of the project, like the if road are damaged, so we rehabilitate those at grade roads or whatever about the project. So then at the end, when project will complete its life, it will be disposed of. It will be dismantled and demolished. So like if the old shops, usually people they demolish those and build new one. So it's disposing of the project. So with this we move forward. So here we are going to define the project. Okay, so I think we have covered a couple of chapters. So today you will find some new insight into the project definition. A project is a complex, non-routine, one-time effort limited by time, budget, resources, and performance specifications designed to meet customer needs. Projects are unique, and there are no two projects that are the same. So every project has a start and finish point, start time and finish time, and the project consumes resources, and with the project we need to deliver deliverables. So it means a project will consume resources, like material, money, manpower, machines. So it will consume budget or cost or money, and we need time project. So it's a unique, one-time effort. Okay, not a routine work. Okay, so we don't say like if somebody is, entering sale records every day, whatever how much sale for the things. In a store, so they're doing the repetition work. So we don't say that it's a project because it's not a unique work. Taking class notes is not a project, okay, but doing a term project, it could be a project. So it's similarly, if you are familiar with the road project or it's a building project, so they are, unique. Sometimes contractor is different, client is different, their owner is different, and the building design is not same. So the site is different. So every project is have a unique, and it's a one-time effort. It's not a repetition work. So then these, some people call them project constraints. So cost, time, scope, triangle. So you see on one side we have cost of the project and scope of the project and time of the project. So if we change any side, like we change scope, we increase the scope, like we were constructing a building of 30 stories, so we increased 2 more story, or we reduced at 28, so we have changed the scope. So if the scope is going to change, it will affect the cost also and time also. Okay, so if one side is going to change, other side, the two sides are going to be affected. And in the middle, we have to do, a project with the quality. A project requires a defined scope. Okay, time is the available time to deliver the project. Cost represents the amount of money or the resources available. Okay. Quality represents the fit to the purpose that the project must achieve to be a success. Okay, so whatever we have to do, we have to maintain the good quality. So some people call it like it's a project constraints. So cost, time, scope, triangle. If we like to change the cost with variation order, change order, so it will also, changing the scope, it will affect the time also and scope also. Or if we delay the project, so delaying project also, if the time is increasing, so it will also affect the cost of the project. It's going to affect other sides also. So here also you see project requirements, objective and constraints. It's more a little bit more related things like project objectives and how they are linked. So for project cost is important. We have to maintain schedule is important. We have to maintain the quality. Okay. So safety is very important during the construction of the project. There should not be accident. We have to make a project should improve the environment. And there is a reputation or public relation is important during the construction. We should not disturb like motorists they are using. So we have to maintain the traffic management and things like this. So how these things are linked, like the cost is linked with the safety, with the project objectives, and with the schedule. The schedule is also linked with quality and the project objectives and scope and the cost. Okay, so similarly other things, they are interlinked, how they are interlinked with the other things. So we will be little quick, so that we can of course in the class, I'm more flexible, because we can we have more time and we do the interactive session, so involving students. But here it's like for the these videos are for the students that they can listen again, if they feel some difficulty. So we have to be careful about the time. So we should finish it according to the time, so Okay, project management. Okay, next we are going to discuss in project planning is project management. Construction project management is the overall planning, control, and coordination of a project from inception to completion, aimed at meeting the client's requirement and ensuring completion on time within budget and the required quality standards. Okay, this is like we have to manage the project in a good way and complete it on time within budget and within the given time according to our contract. So project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet the project requirements. So this is like another definition. Accomplish. So project is accomplished through the application and integration of the project management process of initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and controlling and closing. Okay, this is like we in the first slide we discussed these things that how we do the project management. So we are going to do the planning, we are going to do the construction, and then we are going to do monitor things, keeping if something is not on track, so we bring on track. So we monitor and we control, and then at the end we close the project. Okay, we hand over the project. Okay, next we program management. If we are managing number of projects under one program, so we call it program management. Okay, if we are building venues for Olympic Games. So number of venues, maybe this is a football stadium, this is a basketball stadium, this one is swimming pool, and other, so number of projects we are managing under one umbrella. So we call it program management. Program, a group of related projects managed in a coordinated way to obtain benefits and control not available from managing them individually. Okay. So program may be temporary, okay, one time, okay, or may be ongoing, it's periodic or annual. So just like in universities, we have like we call it program, under one college, there is a civil engineering program, electrical, mechanical, and chemical. So it's a program has like many projects going under one umbrella. A program can be a large and complex project, for example, designing and constructing number of venues for Olympic Games. Number of venues. So same like diagram explains the program is project A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so number of projects we are going to manage under one umbrella. So we call it program management. Now we go to further like portfolio management. Okay. Portfolio is a collection of projects or programs and other work that are grouped together to facilitate effective management of that work to meet strategic business objectives. Project or program of the portfolio may not necessarily be dependent or directly related. Okay, so see now if you are a owner of the company, so in a company there could be a number of projects. Some projects are big in terms of like they have cost is more, time period is more. So some projects are small, some projects are medium. Like one project is just for 6 months, another one is 1 year, another project we have in the company 3 years project, another project we have a company as a 5-year project. So now all those projects, some projects are just starting, in the company, and some projects they are maybe 20% complete, another project is 80% complete, another is 90% complete. So another we have completed is under the taking over. So all those projects for the company, that is the portfolio of the company. So total business in hand, So this is we call it portfolio management. As a MD or as the managing director of the company, so they are going to manage the portfolio. So here they are going to talk like we have projects. So under the project, the sub projects. Like under the projects, we could have sub projects. Like this is a construction project. Under it's maybe there is a electrical work or mechanical work sub projects. So there are other similar projects or different projects, so we call it similar projects managing under one program, then there is a portfolio, so portfolio could be, in the portfolio there could be a program under, or there could be projects, so they are different, not related, so every project could be unique. Okay, so this is, we call it a portfolio management. Okay. So with this we move forward to the next slide, inshallah. So now we come this with the, because project planning. So we discussed a little bit about the project, and now we come to the planning, So to start with the simple thing, how to get from airport to a hotel, So if you are a hotel, you can take a limousine, you can take a cab, or take a shuttle bus, or you take a metro mass transit system if you are like at Washington airport. So you can take, you need to decide. So this is that you are making a planning, So it's you need to decide simple things. So it means you need to plan, the which way will be best to go to the hotel, So you are doing planning. So planning is very important, measure twice and cut once. Okay, so you have to measure correctly before making any cut. This is like on tailor shop. These tailors, they apply these things. They measure again and again, and then they make sure, or then they are going to make a cut. So it's story of the planning trip. Okay, so it seems like if we plan to travel to another country, so we need to decide, our destination. We need to decide the duration of our trip. We need to, like, we can book the flight, or we inside the country or in Europe, you can travel by train or by bus, and then where you have to stay, so arrange for the accommodation. So plan then day-wise activities, what you are going to do during this trip, what is your course of action. So how you are going to divide from morning to the evening, your time, what activities you are going to do over there. So then before leaving, for a tour, so you should pack diligently and make the necessary adjustments. So it's like you are planning your trip, so it's planning is very important, that nothing should be missing, or left unattended. So similarly, if you have good planning, so you can manage risk, and risk management is very important. It starts before signing the contract. In construction, risk management, we have to plan in advance. Before signing the contract, like we should visit the site, even before preparing the bid for that project. We should know about the site, how the site look like, how is the topography, how is the access road to the site, whether it is in the congested area, or what are the adjacent buildings with that project. So you can't get something for, you cannot get something for nothing. Okay, so it's like you need to pay attention to managing those risks, because risk management is very important, and it should be like risk must be identified and then analyzed, and then take action how you are going to manage them. Okay, whether you need to transfer or you have to keep it. How to do mitigation about those risks, how to deal with the residual risk. So it's before any disaster could happen, so you must be careful about monitoring about those risks. So with this, let's move forward to the next slide. So simple things. Now we are going to discuss about project planning, like definition. Process of formulating, organizing, and analyzing the intended actions for the carrying out of a project. Okay, so this is our planning. Like we are going to formulate, and we are going to organization of the project. We are going to analyze, and how about the about our organization, how many people we need, how many resources we need, so how we have to carry out this project, the whole process, which subcontractor will join at what time. Okay. A project plan is a formal document designed to guide the control and execution of a project. A project plan is the key to a successful project and is the most important document that needs to be created when starting a project. So see, now we create project charter, is project plan. So it's very important document, So it will be like set the whole travel plan from inception of the project until completion of the project. Okay? How we have to arrange all those procurement, management, material management, human resource management, equipment management. So this is all those things are very important to complete a project successfully. So our planning will be excellent. Project planning serves as a foundation for several related functions such as cost estimating, scheduling, and project control. Okay? So project planning that we can, because with project planning there could be work breakdown structure and work packages. So we know the cost of those work packages are that we can sublet or to some other contractors. So we control costing and even the schedule for those work packages. So we control the project cost and even the project completion time. So planning is like a very important thing, for managing the project. Plan can include elements that has to do with scope, design and alternative designs, cost, time, finance, land, procurement, operation, etc. Okay. So it's that our plan can include all these things, The plan can take different shapes and have different contents depending upon the purpose of the plan, timing of the plan. So it's like how we are going to, there could be like a quality plan, there could be procurement plan, there could be, risk management plan, there could be communication plan, there could be financial management plan. Okay. So a lot things are, there could be, scheduling plan. So we have to plan all these things for the project. So level of details needed. Okay. So how big is the project? How much is the time? So how we are going to make the work breakdown structure? So it's we need to decide how much time we have and how much details we can cover in our project planning. So. Okay, project planning focus on time and cost control. Okay, generally when we say project planning, so we are doing planning to prepare a schedule or to control the cost. Okay, these are the main things. So planning is a continuous task. It is always continuous from start of the project until completion. Okay, we have to update our planning. Now, number of other planning efforts are needed when constructing a facility, the plan that must be developed. So there are number of plans that we can prepare, So I'm going to list a couple of plans that we should prepare. Like we should have a project procurement plan. Okay. So procurement planning is the process of deciding what to buy, when, and from what source. A procurement plan typically includes the project requirements, procurement team, and justification for the procurement timeline, and an explanation of the supplier selection process. Okay. So in procurement, what we have to buy and what time and from what source. So it's who will do these things. About the team and from where, what sources, from where we are going to get the material, or even procurement planning also include arranging for subcontractors. Like we need subcontractor for electrical work or mechanical work, or we need a subcontractor for piling work, okay, or we need a subcontractor for fall sealing, or later on, for HVAC air conditioning work. All these, like we have to make arrangement from where to buy those materials. So it includes procurement of material, procurement of subcontractors, or anything related to the project. From what source and from where we have to, in the market, there could be 1,000 shops, just to buy steel, but you need to fix from which we have to, who will supply us the cement, who will supply us the steel reinforcement. So we should make an agreement with him, contract with him, so that that company can supply those materials to us. Okay, whenever we need those material on our project. So we should do pre-tender planning, okay, contractors planning during the preparation of an estimate and its conversion into a bid. Okay, so pre-tender planning, like before submitting the bid or tender, before submission of tender, we should visit the site, look how the complicated site is, how the access roads to the site, whether adjacent buildings, whether the site is located in a very congested area, that you have adjacent building, 50-story building on this side and another 80-story building on this side. So how the traffic management protocol. So we should prepare, estimate of direct cost and indirect cost, keeping in mind all the difficulties that may occur during the construction of the project. Okay, so we have to make a direct cost of material, labor, and equipment, and the indirect cost, maybe the site office cost or head office cost, or maybe there is a bill for utilities like telephone, electricity cost, gas, or water, or we make a site office or traffic management. So it's all like cost for arranging bonds, bid bond, performance bond. So we have to include all these things in the indirect cost. So total make direct cost. It's our estimate should be very accurate, as much as possible for before submitting the bid, so that we could not make a loss, in the project when we get the project. Construction planning, okay, another a couple of things I'm going to discuss in construction planning. Specific process construction manager use to lay out how they will manage and execute a construction project. Okay, from designing the structure to ordering material to deploying workers and subcontractors to complete various tasks. Okay, so it's from starting point of the project until completion. How will be the variation in arranging those equipment, subcontractors bringing materials, labor force variation. Okay, so when what expertise we need at what time, what equipment we need at what time, so what material we need at what time. So all these things we should do a very good planning to do construction by maintaining good quality. So this our is construction plan is very important. How we are going to finish the project from starting the project until completion of the project. Let's move next to the next slide. Is a project safety plan. Okay, so a plan to outline how a contractor will manage the risk on a project site and the health and safety requirements for that project. The goal of the site specific safety plan is zero accidents. Okay, so see, we should prepare. So all these plans should be in the form of like a booklet, a small book guide that will include how we are going to manage safety on site. So it means we should have like a safety organization where could be safety manager on site, safety engineer, safety supervisor, on site, and then arrange for the labor force, personal protective equipment like helmet, gloves, waist, safety shoes, safety glove, safety goggles. So then provide training to each worker should get training. So provide a proper training to the workers. They should get the orientation training, job specific training. So all things. It's like a part of our safety plan, and how to identify hazards, how to manage those hazards. That no accident should not occur. So we should implement, physical conditions, housekeeping, safety management system on the site. So our safety plan should cover all these things when we prepare a safety plan for the project. Next, we are going to say what is planning is for a project quality plan. Okay? So a quality plan is a document that specifies quality standards, practices, resources, specifications, and the sequence of activities relevant to the project or contract. So for the quality plan, like we need to make sure quality assurance and quality control of the project. Okay. So for that, maybe we should have a lab on site, so where we could do the test. Always do the concrete test. So we should pour like cubes or cylinders and then test those cubes for concrete, and similarly other materials we should test, follow the specifications. So we should have proper trained people, skilled people who can bring proper finishing. Our workmanship should be good, and so we should follow those all those codes and standards, or we should implement a quality management system, same like ISO 9000. So we should have a quality organization like a quality manager on site, and the staff who is going to help in our laboratory that we are using materials according to the specifications. No material is like under the specifications. And we have to maintain quality and deliver a good quality project. So our quality plan should be submitted and approved by the consultant. As a construction company will submit the quality plan, that how we are going to ensure that quality on site for the project will be good. So we will make sure the quality assurance, like the documentation, procedures, okay, with the brands when we buy those things, and then do the testing to check if there is a deviation, how to bring those according to the specifications. So next we are going to discuss a little about communication plan. Communication plan, like who are our stakeholders within the project, how will be our communication within the project, how we will distribute copies or approval process of materials, and how we will maintain those documentation and meeting records. So all these things, like at what interval we have to report status of the project, like progress reports. Okay, so it's all how the written communication will be linked between the stakeholders, with the owner, with the consultant, and within the our organization of if it's organization of the contractor. So a project communication plan is an agreement between collaborators and stakeholders of the project, internal stakeholders or maybe external stakeholders also, that outline what, when, and how information will be documented and shared at key intervals. Okay, information like project status, updates, correspondence distribution, and meeting details should be included in this guide. So all these are in the form of booklet we should submit. So risk management plan. Risk management in construction is designed to plan, monitor, and control the measures needed to prevent exposure to risk. It is necessary to identify the hazards, assess the extent of those risks, provide measures to control the risk and manage any residual risk. Okay, so risk management that we should be able to identify, we should be able to analyze, okay, and then we should be able to manage those risks, whether we have to do mitigation or transfer risk, or we have to how to control the risk, so we can apply those mitigation technique, and then how we have to deal with the residual risk. So we have discussed a couple of plans that are included in the project planning. So here we are going to discuss like the planning stage. Okay, so we have planning, design, and execution. So ability to influence design. Yeah. So how our design should be, what kind of design should be for our structure if we have a building like high-rise building 50-story, whether this building should be a concrete structure or steel structure. So how we have to control cost, how the shape look like, the model of this building. So we can decide all these things at the planning stage. But later stages changes are very difficult. Those changes become very costly. So it's like the cost of change. If we have to change anything, so at the planning stage, its cost is very less. But if we want to change the design at later stages during the execution stage, so the cost of those changes is very high. So this is like it's very important that planning stage is the most important for project management. Next, we are going to discuss, inshallah, it's a work breakdown structure. Okay, work breakdown structure, like how we are going to break down our project into those work packages. So, like we. That could be, we can sublet those or we can bring any contractor, so we can control the cost of that package or what are the activities under that under one breakdown structure. So a work breakdown structure, WBS, is a deliverable oriented decomposition of a project into smaller components. A work breakdown structure is a key project deliverable that organizes the team's work into manageable sections. It is a hierarchical decomposition of the total scope of work to be carried out by the project team to accomplish the project objectives and create the required deliverables. Okay. So, like we can fix the, this WBS is very important if we have to prepare schedule, okay, or we have to control the cost. So how we are going to break down. So in next figure, they are going to give in like a building blocks figure shows a WBS for a small building. Okay, for a small building project. So they have mentioned here that a line between piling and re-steel cannot be included because re-steel has pile cap as its parents. Okay, we will discuss under this, like we have a building. So this is our WBS. So how we are going to break down this at level 1 is building. Level 2, he discussed it's like a foundation, it's like a structural frame, or site, there could be other things, that we can add. So under the foundation, we are going to make, okay, we have to excavate, okay, do the excavation, and then we have to do the piling work. So after piling, we will build the pile cap. And same like other items we can include if we want to split more. Now see the pile cap. Pile cap, further how we fix the formwork, we fix the reinforcement, and then we cast the concrete for the foundation. Okay, for the like it's a pile cap for the bridge column, bridge pier. So we have a pier column. Under the column there is a pile cap. Below the pile cap there is a piling work. Okay. So then no, the steel they also split like prepare shop drawing. Okay, so how to cut those? We have to get approve the shop drawing, cut those rebars or bar bending schedule, and how we have to fix those bars. To make steel the net for this pile cap. Okay, so then like place concrete or something. Okay, so it's like different levels are given. So this is like they are want to explain that how we are going to make work breakdown structure. Okay, so like these are all building blocks. Okay, if we want to bring subcontractor for doing this work for just for pile cap. So we can we know how much it should be the cost for making this pile cap, and then we can sublet this part of the work. So this is like what he said before, that you cannot connect piling with resteel, okay, because piling is different work. So piling, there could be like bore piling or spun piling. So then piling, they have their own reinforcement, and then trimmy pipe and caustic concrete. If we have maybe if it's a bore piling, we have to drill the hole and then maintain the hole by bentonite slurry, and then we put steel cage inside, and we cast concrete by trimmy pipe. So piling is separate, but pile cap is separate. Okay, so pile cap is separate thing. So here the steel, this re-steel is related to the pile cap. It's not related to the piling. Okay, we cannot connect this line between piling and re-steel. Okay, this is what we have mentioned in the previous slide. So think about how we will break down our structure, into smaller work packages. So it's how we prepare. It's very important to prepare even schedule. We should have a good work breakdown structure. Like in this slide, they have given example from the project professional, scheduling. So there is a construction of small house. They have civil works. So they have done excavation, foundation, DPC, and then they build a superstructure like walls, okay, and slabs. Then they have roofing, they have plastering, they have flooring for the civil works. And then they put the electrical work, conduiting, wiring, fixtures of lighting, and they have plumbing work, fixing of those pipes and connections for water supply and for sewerage system. Then they have side works. Okay, side work, they have the boundary wall of it, they have gate fixing, lawn preparation, driveway. Okay, they are finishing work, so woodwork or paint work or tiles in the kitchen or in the washrooms, over the flooring. So they split. Now you see that what is mean by work breakdown structure. These like civil works, electrical works, plumbing works, side works, or finishing works. These are like the work breakdown structure. So when we prepare schedule, we don't we first enter the work breakdown structure. Under the work breakdown structure, we enter the activities, and then we assign the duration to the activities. So these like black lines, this is the summary of this civil works. Okay, black line, and then electrical work. This is a black line for summary of electrical work. The plumbing work, there's a summary for plumbing work, and similarly the side works. This is the summary for side works. Okay. Finishing work, so it's a summary for the finishing work here. So this is like, and then construction of how this the total summary of this project. So when you click, it can contract and expand more in detail. So here the important thing that we should understand the WBS. So here WBS we don't assign any time for WBS. WBS is just these like civil works, electrical work, plumbing work, side works, finishing work. This is our WBS. So under the WBS, under each work package, we put the activities and then assign durations. Then we draw the schedule, whether it's on project professional or on Primavera. So there's the same other example like here in this. This is the output from Primavera. So like we have WBS first floor, second floor, third floor work, and roof floor. Okay, and then we have final finishes for the ground floor, or for final finishes for the first floor, second floor, third floor. Okay, so this is like this is indicate the WBS, the way we have created the WBS. Okay, the red lines, you know, in the previous also like this shows the red line shows the critical path. Okay, so it's we call it Gantt chart or bar chart. So blue lines activities, they are not on critical path, but red bars, these activities are on the critical path. We'll discuss in the next chapter, inshallah, about scheduling. So here is just that you know, the viewers, the students, they should understand what is mean by work breakdown structure, and how they should make prepare work breakdown for their project. Here, see, this is also another output from the Primavera. So, College of Engineering, it's like they have the design, they have the basement construction schedule, they have the first floor construction schedule, second floor, third floor construction schedule, and roof construction schedule. So this is this is just showing the WBS. Okay. So under each WBS, when we click this positive sign, it will spread and it will become enlarged. All the activities for the design will be shown, and all the activities under the basement or under the first floor, they will appear. You know, when we click these positive signs in the Primavera. Okay. So the Primavera P6. So important is here is to understand how we split our project into WBS. Okay, you will see inshallah more. WBS work breakdown structure. Development of a WBS requires a thorough understanding of the project scope of work. Okay, how we have to split the project. So we should be familiar how have experience of constructing a project, or executing a project, or building a project. Okay, so we should be familiar how what is the scope of the work, know how we have to complete this project. Planning can be thought of as WBS and sequencing of the work packages. Okay, so now planning is that we should prepare a good WBS and make sequence. Okay, sequence of work. Like first for the bridge, we have to construct the piling, and over the piling we will make a pile cap, and above the pile cap there could be column. So then above the column it could be cross head or whatever the box structure, superstructure. This is like we should know how the sequence of work, what should be done first, and then what comes next, and what comes next. Okay, so and so on. We have to keep the theme, the sequence of work for building the project. So a project manager needs to plan, do, check, act, okay, known as deeming cycle. He was a quality group, quality expert. In the figure, they have shown this plan, do, check, act. We will see this figure, inshallah. Planning is everything. It is an ongoing activity until the project is completed. Okay? So planning is very important from start until end of the project. Okay? We have to update our planning if new things are coming. So we should, accordingly, we have to manage all those resources, material, money, labor force, or machinery according to that planning. Okay, let's see how this cycle, dimming cycle, plan, do, check, and act is going to help us in the WBS. So develop an initial plan. Okay, implement that plan. Okay. So first is like plan, plan, do, check and act. Okay. So plan, do, check and act. So develop the plan. Okay. Then do implement that plan. So then it's a check. Okay. So detect deviations from the plan. Okay. So detect those deviations. Determine the impact of deviations or make corrections to the plan as required. So it's like a repetition cycle. We should be updating our plan with the whenever it is required. So and update our plan if we have to add more activities or have to go more in detail for those activities. What is the cost at each work package, or what is the duration of each work package? So if there is a, we need to update and compare it with the baseline, I think we should do the revise our planning. So with this, let's move to the next slide. The work packages. Okay, work packages. A work package is a group of related tasks within a project. They look like a project themselves. Okay, they are often thought as sub projects within a large project. Okay. So it's like the way we are going to split our WBS. Like we have, that you have seen before. Like we have the plumbing work or electrical work. Okay. So these are like work packages that we can sublet separately, and actually they are itself they are small projects. Okay, sub projects. Okay, from the main project they are a sub project, maybe electrical work or plumbing work, or there is a other works. So they are all sub projects from the project. Work packages are the smallest unit of work that a project can be broken down into when creating your WBS structure. Okay. So it could be identified, one work package must be distinguished from the other work package. Okay. One work package must be different from the other, so that when we give sublet, so we can bring in subcontractor who can execute that work independently. So we should know the time for that one and the cost for that work package. Each work package have a unique start and end date. Okay, so each work package, if we have a multi-story building, or like a metro project, there is a very big large metro project is working. So construction of stations, or within the station we can split small things, so where we could. Each work package have a unique start and end point. Each work package should have its own budget. Okay, so the budget and cost we should know. So this is like the way we are going to make cost control. We know that each work package cost, when we submitted the bid, so that at that time we know the cost for this work package was for electrical work, we have this much cost. Now we will be trying to complete that electrical work within that budget. So like these work packages, they are going to help us to control the cost. Work packages for the gas station project is shown in figure 7.4. So here you see in the book they have given example of a gas station project like this. So work packages, they are going to define like parking and service area is one thing, then foundation, building wall, building of roof, interior floors, at ground, interior finishes, exterior finishes, outside electrical work, mechanical work. For the gas station or petrol pump, gasoline station. So how they are going to make these work packages. So we can see in the next figure that they are going to this the gas station. So we have packing and parking. And service area. So we have the foundation, we have this building of walls, so structural work, and we have the building of roof. Then we have the, see on this side is we have the interior finishes, exterior finishes, we have interior floors, and electrical systems. Okay, so this is all like work packages. So again, just when they split up like mechanical system, they have like they have the excavation, wastewater system, tile drainage, septic tank, fresh water, sink, basin, toilets, etc. Hot water system. Pneumatic air system. So they split up the mechanical system in further detail. Like this work package include all these things. So this is the way that first we should break down our structure, prepare the WBS, and then after having the WBS, then we should have build um, the schedule. If we have to make a prepare schedule first, we have to enter the WBS in the Primavera. Okay, what is the project information, start date, and things like this. Project information. Then we decide the WBS. Under the WBS, we will enter the activities, and their durations, and then we prepare the schedule. So determining sequence of work packages. Okay, so determining sequence is important in constructing a project, gas station project. Just like we have seen, they are going to put like these sequence start and site preparation, pour concrete for the foundations, then erecting the building structure, roof, and so on. Okay, so in next figure, it's a lot many things is given, but it's like we have to maintain the sequence of what we need to do first and what should be the next. Okay, so in building construction, a sequence is very important. Like this work we should do, and then the next work we can do. Okay, meaning is that we should do the excavation first and piling, excavation, then make the pile cap, make the then column, and then cross head. So it's we have to make the tertib. Development of detailed schedule will be presented. Okay, so now in next chapter actually we will discuss how to prepare the scheduling. Okay, so we will talk about in detail about construction scheduling. So in this we are just talking about the planning. So let's see the figure 7.5 about how it's going to tell us about that we should determine the sequence of our work packages. Like we start, so site preparation, pouring foundation, then erecting the building structure. Okay. So then once we have a building structure, means that we have built the walls, and then we will have a slab and roof construction. So interior floor slabs. So for the flooring, we will have flooring slabs, and above the floor slab we will put tiles or whatever. So interior finishes, and then outside the building exterior finishes, electrical mechanical work, and then our project will end. Like project work breakdown structure and the sequence. Okay, how keep sequence of construction. So next, to control cost, estimate development and cost control related to the work breakdown structure. Okay. So how we will control the cost of the project by following the WBS, work breakdown structure. So work breakdown structure, work packages, they have the cost. So we know when we prepare the estimator, and then how much when we submitted the bid, how much was the estimate for each work package, we know the cost. Okay, so now that will be like the baseline. Based on that, we will be trying to control the cost of those works, so that it should be completed within that cost. Okay, a good WBS facilitate cost control during the life of the project. Major items are work packages and control accounts, or sub-elements of the work packages. So in the work package, what are the sub-elements in that work package? What are the activities in that work package? So start time, finish time, and how much is the cost for each activity. So by this way, we are going to control the cost. Work packages have their own unique budget. Okay, this we know that when we submitted the bid, so each work package has their own budget. The contractor prepare an estimate of cost that become the basis for the bid price. Okay, so contractor, when they prepare the bid at that time, so they prepare the estimate of each work package for the WBS, and that will be like a base price for us when we will be implementing or executing the project. The estimate of cost becomes the baseline cost to control spending during the construction period. The concept of cost control is shown in figure 7.6. Okay, so now the concept of cost control, see, it's a develop bid estimate. Okay, so a bid estimate, bid accepted. Okay, so if not accepted, then stop. Okay, so then we will take out our bid bond and we are free from that one. But if our bid is accepted, so it means we will go ahead with the construction of the project. Okay, so develop contract budget based on the major work items. Okay, so we will develop the budget according to our bid submission. Measure actual cost on the on project. Okay, measure actual cost. Compare actual cost with control budget. Okay, so now, because you are building the project, so you will be buying the material, from the market. So it will be actual cost. Okay? Compare your actual cost with that planned estimate that you have prepared during the bid preparation. So that will be like your baseline. So if there is difference, take corrective actions. Okay, revise contract budget. Okay, if you are not able, so maybe if there are changes or variations or whatever, so if there is a delay in the project, so revise the budget. Okay, so then it's go on with this repetition cycle, and then when project is complete, so then hand over that project, then you will be free. So if you have completed the project and you have successfully handed over the project to the owner. So it's this is the way that WBS is going to help us to control the cost. Okay, role of codes of account. Okay, so this is also like suppose we want to know, okay, how much is the cost for cement, or how much is the cost for woodwork, or how much is the cost for doors and windows, okay, or how much is the cost for labor. So we can have different accounts. And then by computer we can separate that in this project how much cement we have used, or how much concrete we have used on this, or how many doors and windows we have installed in the whole project, okay? Or how much is the cost for piping works, say for example. So cost coding system focus on the level of cost spending. A typical sheet for the interior floor slab construction of the gas station project is shown in the figure. The sheet acts as documentation of the control budget for each work package. Okay, so it's like this. If we see this sheet, these are the cost code. Is like one is code for concrete. Okay, concrete. Then how much accrue labor, like foreman is 020 is for the foreman. Okay, so 29 is for the laborer, and like 063 is for the pump operator. Okay, 505 is the vibrator. Okay, and 308 is like concrete pump. So at the end, if we, when we keep this codes, so then we can find out, we can see how much just code 101, okay, total cost for complete. This will add up, and at the end, we will know this, these like the cost in each head, okay, cost in each head. So that how much like material we have used or how much is their cost. So these kind of things are very helpful in the next projects. You know, that how much was the labor cost and how much was the material cost in this project and how much was the cost for the equipment in this project. So we can compare the actual with our planning and see how we are going to compare these things, and it will help us to control the cost. So cost coding is very important, you know. So we will have a separate chapter about cost control, inshallah. Then we will discuss more in detail about how we are going to control the cost of the project. Okay, next we are going to just scheduling as part of project management. So the project management, we are going to manage scheduling, time management, budget or cost management. So then we apply on scheduling. So project control is like controlling the cost and controlling the time. Okay, or we do risk management, we do procurement management, we do scope management, or we do the logistic management, or we are doing project administration and documentation management, quality management, or health and safety, and environment management. There could be other things, you know, just like we have discussed. This is a safety, or this one is the risk. So communication. Okay. So they are all interrelated. They are all interrelated. These when we are going to do the project management. So it's scheduling is just part of management. No, it's not management. Project management includes managing the whole project. Okay. So let's move. Now we are actually next topic. Next chapter will be about scheduling. So we are going to see how this planning and scheduling means to us. You know, planning and schedule are two terms that are often thought as you know, similar. You know, but they are not similar actually. You know. So they are quite different, you know, because planning is scheduling is just one part of planning. Okay? Scheduling is just one part of the planning. So project scheduling is the determination of the timing and sequence of the operations in the project and their assembly to give the overall completion time. So scheduling, it gives us how we are going to make a schedule like for each activity and work breakdown structure. Then how much time will be required for completing the project and how we should execute those activities according to the schedule so that we should be able to complete the project according to the contract time. Okay. So it's but planning is a very big thing, as we have seen in the beginning. It covers a lot of things, you know, maybe quality plan, maybe safety related things, maybe you know, money management. So procurement, communication, planning include many things, you know. So again, planning and scheduling. Project planning is deciding in advance what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and who is to do it. Okay, so this is like planning. What we have been done before is that what to do and who is to do it. Okay, so at what time, when to do it. Okay, and who will do this this work. Okay, so these things is like it's all planning. Planning is the process of determining how a project will be undertaken. It answers the questions of these what we have seen about what okay, what to do, okay, how to do it, and who will do it. Okay, why we have to do this one. Where is the problem, or where is the where we have to do it. Okay, by whom. Okay, by whom. Who will do this one, you know. So or how much is the status, you know, how much work is complete, how much is left. Okay, so when, in general term, when this is when we have to do it. Okay, so this is like it's going to tell us the scheduling. Okay, scheduling deals with the when on a detailed level. Scheduling is going to address when part, when on a detailed level. Okay, so when this activity should start, when this activity should finish. Okay, okay. So this is we are going to address when this project will complete. So all these things we are going to address in this month. So planning and scheduling, plan is like a very big thing. So inside is all these things, when, who, whom, why. So just scheduling is one part, and that is when we will, inshallah, in the next chapter we will discuss in detail about project scheduling. So with this, we have finished this chapter. Inshallah, we will continue with the next chapter. So during the class is always more interactive, so students can ask question, and I'm going to raise a question, and so that is, we have more time in the class. Usually we take 2 lectures to finish this kind of lecture, So we have a 50-minute class, like we have 100 minutes. So it's we have in the class more time to discuss things in detail. So with this, we are going to finish this chapter. So let me say before just for a majlis, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. So thank you very much to each one of you. Inshallah, see you next time. Inshallah. So.